Welcome back for another story time. So my last one was about a Mother's Day gift. This one is actually, I just call it the teddy bear and the stitches. Alright, so you learned last time I have a younger brother. Well, since I had three brothers, four of us, we tended to share rooms and have bunk beds. Now, before I go too far into the story, any kids watching this, if you have the option to pick top or bottom bunk, go bottom bunk. Unless you have a really good reason for going to top bunk, it's not worth it. My oldest brother always wanted it, so I thought it was the coolest thing until I got it. It's a pain to get into. You can't just roll out of bed. Well, you can, but it hurts. It's not worth it. Totally not worth it. So my younger brother, sleeping on the bottom, I'm sleeping on the top. Well, we weren't sleeping in this case. It was probably late afternoon, and my younger brother was bugging me, and I'm sitting in my, laying in bed, just chilling, doing whatever, probably being a sweet little angel like I should have been. And he was bugging me and kept reaching his hand up on the top bunk and messing around. And of course that means he's touching my stuff, so I have to keep smacking his hand away and telling him to knock it off. And he starts putting stuff up on top, and I keep knocking it off, and finally he's just irritating me. I'm like, knock it off! Stop touching my bed, stop messing with me. And I can hear him giggling down below. But I don't want to get off my bed and give him the victory of having gotten out of bed to get him. Plus, I know that if I do that, I'm going to be the one in trouble for attacking my younger brother. So I just keep saying, hey, knock it off, hey, knock it off. I'm getting really, really bugged by this point. And finally, he gets out of bed, and he's standing, and I can see his face. Well, we also had a little wooden ladder at the foot of the bed, so that way on the side. So that way you could easily get in and out of the bunk. Well, he goes to get on the ladder, and I'm like, no, you are not coming up to my bunk. You are not coming onto my bed. Go back down on your own or go do something else. And he gets this big grin like, hee, I know I'm getting my brother. And yeah, his whole goal was to bother me, and he was doing a perfect job. Ooh, little brothers. If you're an older brother, you know what I mean when I say little brothers. So yeah, he's getting up on the top. He's starting, one rung at a time, 1 foot up, 1 foot up. And I'm like, no, get off the ladder now. Well, I just happened to have a fluffy arsenal, if you will. I had, and still have, a stuffed teddy bear. So cuddly and so fluffy. I've had this teddy bear since I was a little kid. I'm going to give it to my kids. But this little teddy bear makes my brother cringe. And then he grins and tells this story. So what happened was, he's trying to come up. I'm trying to, I'm using my feet now to, try to kick him away and push him off. And he keeps grinning and, leaning back so my feet can't get him. And he's just leaning back and and he keeps trying to come up. Now he's almost up high enough that he can just swing his leg up. And my first thought was, I'm going to throw something at him. Because, of course, natural reaction, I don't want to get out of bed. So I pick up this lovely teddy bear, and I launch it at his head. Or launch it at him, I'm not thinking of a name. I launch it at him. It hits him. And the next thing I know, he is on the ground screaming. Now, I don't mean just crying I gotta hit the fish with a teddy bear. It's ah! Now, of course, if you are an older brother and you have younger brothers, you know younger brothers tend to overreact a lot. You could flick him on the nose and I just figured he was trying to get me into trouble. And in my head, I'm rolling my eyes oh, come on, it was a stuffed teddy bear. How bad could this thing really hurt? I look over the edge of the bed, and I see blood coming from under his hands as he's clutching his face. And I thought, crap, what did I just do? How in the world did a teddy bear cause bleeding? I quickly jump off the top bunk, all previous qualms forgotten. Get on the ground, I pull his hands away. He is screaming, and I see why. He has now got a cut in his forehead. And I look over, and I'm trying to figure out how a teddy bear could possibly create that. Well, there is a thing about the teddy bear I forgot to tell you. It's a wind-up teddy bear. I think it plays It's a Small World or something. But it has the metal crank. I don't know how well you can see that, but... So, it was good enough. This thing will just keep going for a little while, but I don't want to crank it all the way up. I threw it, and the metal part just nailed him in the forehead. So, did not know that, didn't think about that, but just nailed him in the forehead. He's bleeding, and it's not a light trickle or anything. It's pretty bad. And there's no way I can staunch the screaming because he pulls back his hands, and he sees blood on his hands. Now, if you've been a kid, and you are freaking out, and you want to get your older brother in trouble, you, of course, when you see blood, you're going to start screaming, "I am bleeding," which, that is a key phrase to any parent to go, "Wait, what?" So, of course, my parents come running downstairs, and I get in trouble for this. I tried to explain, hey, it's not my fault. It's him. He was trying to get up on my bed. I'm still hearing this thing playing slowly. I'm trying to explain to him, no, he was trying to get up on my bed. He was really, really bugging me. He was trying to irritate me. None of that matters when your brother is bleeding from his head. Yeah. So, thank goodness, a relative of mine was a doctor at the time, so he was used to hearing calls from us, so we rushed him out. He quickly stitched him up. Wasn't that big of a deal. Yes, my brother did get stitches from this lovely little teddy bear. So, lesson learned from this. 1, don't throw objects at people unless you know exactly what's on that object. Even if you think, oh, it's just a stuffed teddy bear, it could have a lethal little secret. 2, and here I think is the bigger one. Stop pissing off your older brothers. Thanks, younger brothers. On a side note, I also used to have and this was awesome, people laugh at me at first, adults, if you are from the 80s, early 90s, you may remember Cabbage Patch Dolls. I had a great Cabbage Patch doll that I loved. Now, before the guys out there are going, why would you love a Cabbage Patch doll? I didn't love it because it was a doll. I loved it because the model I had, the head was solid plastic, and it was a good sized solid head. And the body was just stuffing and cloth, which meant it made a wonderful, if you grabbed it by the feet and swung it, it made a great weapon. I used to use that thing on my younger brother. I would just take it by the feet and smack it, because it was like a mace. It was great and glorious, and one day I lost it and I was so unhappy. So apparently I had an arsenal at my disposal, and I didn't even think about it. But yeah, so always remember, kids, you may have an arsenal. Just kidding. Don't do that. But that concludes story time for today. Have a wonderful day.